So some of you were asking about God and why we are saying he's not in control. It doesn't mean he's not sovereign. He is sovereign. But being sovereign and being in control are totally different things. Bill Johnson says he's in charge, but not control. He's not into control. The opposite of love is not fear. It's actually control. Andrew Womack says the belief that God controls everything that happens to us is one of the devil's biggest inroads into our lives. Graham Cook says if God was in control, you wouldn't have any freedom. You would be controlled. So if you've wrestled with these thoughts, I just recommend you reading God is Not in Control, The Whole Story is Better Than You Think by Jason Clark. He really goes into like the whole narrative of the Noah's Ark, the flood, Sodom and Gomorrah, the knowledge of the tree of good and evil versus the tree of life, and what that means that Adam and Eve were not punished when they left the garden. They were actually liberated, because if they were to stay in the garden, living in a false identity of who they are, living in fear of God, fear of being separate, then they would never have the glory of experiencing heaven on earth. So true spiritual life involves complete surrender to God and separation from the world's corrupt systems. So we unite with God and separate from the world. We're in the world, but we're not of the world, right? Understanding the Bible is not solely dependent on intelligence or education, but rather on Holy Spirit's interpretation and application, right? So Jesus' death on the cross accomplished everything necessary for salvation and overcoming. Now, salvation is sozo. It means healing. It means you are healed. You are whole, nothing missing, nothing broken. Sozo. That's what it means in the Greek. You know, Jesus Christ defeated sin and death. There's no separation. No principalities, powers, things of this world, nothing. No false identity. Even false identity can't separate us from God, but in our minds, we can feel separated. That's why Paul says, we are being transformed by the renewal of our mind.